Monday, May 25th, 2026. It is exactly 6 p.m. in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin straight away with our headlines. Students in the French subsystem of education across Cameroon officially began the 2026 General Baccalaureate examinations this Monday, May 25th, 2026, marking an important step toward higher education for thousands of candidates nationwide. Senegal's political crisis took a dramatic new turn this Sunday after Parliament Speaker El Malik Ndiaye announced his resignation just days after the dismissal of Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko. The move is widely seen as paving the way for Sonko, the influential leader of the ruling PASTEF party, to take control of Parliament and strengthen his position against President Bassirou Diomaye Faye amid growing tensions at the top of the state. These stories and more will be yours in a bit. Thanks once more for joining us. As you heard in one of our lead stories, the 2026 written examination for the baccalaureate officially kicked off this Monday after a smooth and organized conditions, as Cameroon's Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova Lionga, alongside the director of the Cameroon Baccalaureate Office, toured several examination centers in Yaoundé to assess the conduct of the exams. From the early hours of the day, candidates settled into classrooms calmly, while education authorities ensured that all arrangements were in place for a successful start to this crucial stage of the academic journey. Let's now take a listen in the following excerpt. The Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova Lionga. She is speaking on the microphone of Madoshe Kwiate.
I think that the director of OBC is totally ready for these exams. As you have seen with me, we have made sure that we have examined a few centers. And why have we done so? Because we have standards that we expect that all the centers, the principles of those centers that are examination centers, must be obeyed. And so we are looking at the norms. The desks that are supposed to hold 2 students should be 2 students, and those for 1 student should be 1 student. There should be no deviation from the norm. That's what we have done, and we have seen that that is exactly what is happening. We are very happy with the director of OBC. We're very happy with Mr. Musa, the DEC, the man in charge of the exams as well. I think everything is going on fine. We hope that all the candidates will stay focused on their exams and not look out to people who are dragging them to take things from the social media. We think all will be fine, hopefully.
We are still talking education, where the official examinations that kick off this Monday, May 25th, 2026, is an important step toward higher education for thousands of students in the French subsystem of education. From early morning, examination centers and sub-centers witnessed a massive turnout of students as administrative and security authorities deployed measures to ensure the smooth and orderly conduct of the exams. We have Sharon Aratanye and Madoshe Kwiate in the following report.
Burning the midnight candle has become the reality for thousands of candidates as the baccalaureate examination for higher education officially commenced today, May 25th, 2026, across the national territory of Cameroon. The examination session began in an atmosphere of peace and serenity, with invigilators and candidates responding present at their various centers.
Se passe bien dans la sérénité.
Things are going smoothly and calmly. I believe our candidates are here and all the staff called for the good of the exams are also here. They are here, the members of the secretariat too. I think everything is different and everything is going well for now.
Pour le moment.
Verification and checking activity effectively started at exactly 6:45 a.m. while security measures were properly reinforced to ensure the smooth conduct of the examinations nationwide.
Procéder à une première fouille.
It started with a first search at 6:45 a.m. at the entrance of the campus or the sub-center. Yet we reserved a single entrance for all the candidates where everything was searched systematically before a second search before entering the examination rooms.
Avant l'entrée dans les salles de composition.
Invigilators have been actively carrying out their responsibility, maintaining order and discipline throughout the process.
Pour le moment, on n'a pas encore.
For the moment, we haven't detected any cases of fraud yet because we are still on the first test, but we hope we won't have any of such cases throughout the exams.
Tout au long de l'examen.
Candidates who have spent months preparing and burning the midnight candle are now demonstrating their knowledge and academic abilities in the examination halls. The examinations are expected to run smoothly until Friday when the session officially comes to an end.
And onto something else, hope has emerged for transport workers in Cameroon following an emergency meeting held this May 25, 2026 at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, where transport trade unions and government officials discussed key concerns raised in a 13-point memorandum. Although the planned taxi drivers' strike for tomorrow has not been completely called off, it has been suspended as both parties work towards concrete solutions, particularly regarding challenges facing transporters and insurance issues. Let's now take a listen to the Vice President of the General Council of the Cameroon Transporters Trade Union in the following excerpt. He is speaking on the microphone of Mado Shekwati.
We have a problem of clandestine transport. We have the problem of unfair competition with those who are doing digital transport. We have a problem of routes in Cameroon. The routes are so bad, and we think that, and we have the problem of motorbike riders who don't have papers in our country, and at that moment they are always harassed and embezzled by police and gendarmes. So we think that if we, and Minister of Transport, Minister of Labour, because we are again asking that the social agreements that are signed for the sake of workers should be immediately implemented. So now the Minister of Labour said that the document is now in the Prime Minister. So we think that this evening, when we were speaking with the Minister of Labour, he told us that he's going to write his colleague so that we are going to be received, okay, to look for solution to our problems.
Rising reports of missing children have shaken parents across the country, and instead of giving into fear, many families are taking practical daily measures to better protect their children by improving home security, closely monitoring the children's movements, and establishing clear safety rules. Parents are turning anxiety into action while creating a safe environment where children can feel protected and confident. Melanie Bo in the following report.
Recent stories of missing children have become increasingly alarming, sparking fear and drawing widespread attention. The frequency and seriousness of these cases have met many parents, supervising them, not letting them wander around however they want. So when leaving the house, if they are not in the yard, make sure it's secured. If the children can play in the yard, that's good, because the world has become so evil. You might think you are on good terms with the neighbors, but it's often the neighbor who ends up harming your child.
C'est le voisin qui vient gâter ton enfant. Donc il faut bien surveiller les enfants.
As a result, families are moving from concern to concrete action to keep their children safer at home and in the community. One of the changes parents are making is securing the immediate home environment.
Beaucoup plus vigilant et au mieux.
Be much more vigilant instead of just calling and feeling reassured by the parents. Children should not follow people, not listen to strangers, not run errands for people, not borrow cars from people they don't know, and always inform others where they are going and who they are with.
Informer de où on va et avec qui on va.
Gates are kept closed and locked when children play outside, and clear rules are set. Many parents are now prioritizing escorting children to and from school rather than letting them walk alone.
Je peux accompagner mes petits-fils à l'école.
I can walk my grandsons to school. I go pick them up when school closes. For the ones in the middle and high school, I don't want them wandering around too much. Stay calm. Don't go to the neighbor's place too much because you don't know what's going on when you are at home. If the child goes to the neighbor's house, you don't know what they might eat there, what's happening there.
Ce qui se passe donc, c'est ça.
Families are, however, introducing small age-appropriate chores to keep kids engaged and reduce the chance of them wandering off. Instead of unrestricted screen time, parents are using it as a structured reward. Once chores are finished, children get to watch their favorite educational or entertainment apps on the television. This approach creates a clear link between responsibility and privilege, and parents say it reduces argument.
Je leur donne les petits devoirs.
I give them small homework and little chores around the house. As soon as they finish, they are on their tablet. I make sure to put their favorite apps on the television for them.
Quand ils sortent de la maison, il n'y a plus de visite.
The consistent message is simple. Do not open the door to anyone, even if the person claims to be sent by a parent.
Non, ils n'ont pas le droit de les recevoir. On ne vient pas en visite.
There are no more visits. You have to lock the gate after because professionally, you see, people will come in. We don't accept visitors. The thing is, people know the parents are at work. They might show up at 10 a.m. saying they came to see Dad. That's impossible. It's not normal and it's dangerous and it even looks suspicious.
Un de deux parents doit être déjà à la maison.
Communities are sharing these practices, and the result is a growing culture where child safety is treated as a shared responsibility, not just as individual worry.
And if you're just joining us, it is the 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. Let's now take you beyond our borders to get updates of what make news. First up in Senegal, as you heard in one of our lead stories, Senegal's political crisis took a dramatic new turn on Sunday after Parliament Speaker El Malik Ndiaye announced his resignation just days after the dismissal of Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko. The move is widely seen as a paving way for Sonko, the influential leader of the ruling Pastef party, to take control of parliament and strengthen his position against President Bassirou Diomaye Faye amid growing tensions at the top of the state. Once close political allies, Sonko and Faye have increasingly clashed over leadership, corruption investigations, and how to manage Senegal's mounting debt crisis. With Pastef still holding a strong parliamentary majority and Sonko retaining significant support among the youth, analysts warn that governing the country could become increasingly difficult for President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. The latest developments have also fueled speculation that the two former allies could eventually face each other in a future presidential elections. We are still out of the country, but this time around, let's take you over to Benin, where 49-year-old Romuald Wardini officially became Benin's new president on Sunday after taking the oath of office, succeeding former leader Patrice Talon following his landslide victory in the April 12 presidential election. The former finance minister now faces the challenges of preserving Benin's strong economic growth while addressing persistent poverty and widening social inequalities. Second stop will be in Nigeria. These stories are compiled in the following report. The inauguration of Benin's new president, 49-year-old Romuald Wagdagni, marked more than a political transition as the presence of Nigerian Prime Minister Ali Mohamed Lamin Zein signals a possible easing of tensions between Benin and the junta-led Sahel state after months of strained relations. With growing insecurity linked to jihadist attacks and increasing economic pressures across the region, Wagdagni used his first address to promote dialogue, stability and strong regional cooperation. Analysts believe the ceremony could represent the beginning of renewed diplomatic engagement between neighboring countries seeking unity in the face of shared security challenges. Officially endorsed by his party for the 2027 presidential election, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues to strongly defend his economic reforms despite the soaring cost of living affecting millions of citizens. Since taking office in 2023, Tinubu has insisted that the painful measures, including fuel subsidy removal and financial reforms, are necessary sacrifices to rebuild and stabilize Nigeria's economy for future generations. While inflation and poverty remain major concerns across the country, the opposition is still struggling to unite ahead of the crucial vote. The 2027 election is increasingly shaping up as a major referendum on Tinubu's leadership and his promise of long-term economic recovery. Scenes of celebrations erupted in Dakar as Senegalese football fans detained in Morocco over violence during the AFCON finally returned home following a royal pardon granted by King Mohammed VI. The supporters, some of whom had been sentenced to prison terms after clashes and stadium unrest in Rabat earlier this year, described their release as unexpected and emotional. Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye welcomed their return and praised Morocco's gesture of solidarity ahead of the Tabaski holiday, highlighting the strong historic ties between the two nations. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. It was a pleasure staying with you, but do not go nowhere. Tappy Clarkson will be yours for Select 2. Stay tuned.